Hey there, welcome to another episode of Football Everyday. This is, of course, the Euro 2012 edition, coming to you as usual from the studios here at Menara Star in PJ. My name's Nelson. Joining me today, Zach Yusof and Brian Martin, the original Football Everyday crew, I'd call it. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, the Euros are well underway, and last night, or this morning rather, in Group C, holders Spain took on recent World Cup winners Italy in a game which kind of came to life in the second half, ended in a 1-1 draw. Brian, Vicente Del Bosque went with a 4-3-3, but in that lineup, an out-and-out striker was absent. So did that kind of surprise you?
That was a total surprise.
No Torres, no Negredo, no Llorente.
Yeah, and starting with Fabregas up front, I mean, that to me that was a bit of a shock, because not the natural way that Spain usually plays, not the natural way that Del Bosque usually deploys his formation.
Yep.
Could it be that Zach was saying earlier that Italy have not lost to Spain in 92 years?
Yeah, in normal time.
In normal time, could it be that he was actually afraid that Italians would, strike them on the counter attack?
Yeah, I mean, Zach, would you echo Brian? I mean, seeing as, we know the Spanish usually go for the jugular in attack. I mean, we know they're a team that packed with goal-scoring talent, right? I mean, your strikers, it's not like they were down with injuries or anything, right?
No, it was definitely a tactical ploy. But like Brian, it seemed strange to me. When I saw that lineup, I was just thinking, well, who's going to hold the ball up? And as things transpired, that was one of the main problems Spain had in the first half.
Right,
I think Italy had more cut and thrust. Yeah. Actually, I disagree because that first half, right, it was exciting to me. It was a very exciting 0-0. It could have been 2-2 in that first half. But I think what Spain lacked, which they tried to change in the second half, was that focal
point. Target man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I guess as we said, that kind of backfired as Cesare Prandelli's team gave a very good account of themselves, would you say, Brian? In getting that point?
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed that Balotelli did not convert a couple of chances that he had. And to be fair, the coach took him off. I think he missed like one clear-cut opportunity, and a few minutes later he was taken off. Yeah, but the Italians gave a good account for themselves. At the end of the day, it's a result that's not unexpected. Spain, Italy, you look at two giants of European football and it has draw written all over it.
Fair result overall, Zach?
Yeah, actually, I was really impressed by the Italians. I kind of felt that, had they hung on to their lead a bit longer, they could have really gone into classic Italian mode and parked that bus, which is exactly what they want to do. But I tell you, one guy that really impressed me, Cassano. Now, over the years, all we've heard from Antonio Cassano is a lot of fighting with his managers, bad behavior at his various clubs. He seemed to have grown up, and he was Italy's star.
He looked like he wanted to play, right?
Yeah,
yesterday.
really dangerous.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, in the other Group C match, Slaven Bilic, Croatia showed Ireland who's boss, following a 3-1 win thanks to a double from Wolfsburg's Mario Mandzukic and another from informed striker, your man, Nikita Jelavic. Look, if Spain were conservative, then many are saying that Trapattoni was equally guilty and deserved to lose the game, right? So would you agree with that, Zach?
Yeah, it's sloppy. It's weird, like Ireland going into the tournament, one thing they were good at is keeping clean sheets. They hardly conceded in qualifying. And here they shipped 3 what I thought was soft goals, especially 1-2 minutes into the game or something. I think Shay Given, he'll hold his hands up and say he didn't have his best of games,
Brian, would your thoughts echo Zach? Are Croatia the better team, or did Ireland get the tactics wrong?
I wouldn't say they got the tactics wrong. I agree with Zach. There were 3 sloppy goals, but at the end of the day, Croatia were definitely the far better team. If you look at it, Shay Given may be culpable for 1 or 2 of the goals, but Ireland could have shipped in far more goals if not for some of his outstanding goalkeeping. To me, Luka Modric ran the show in midfield.
United target?
Yeah. United target. If I was Fergie, I would pay anything to get that man. He was brilliant.
Yeah, Ireland didn't have anything to contest Modric. Somebody pulled the strings in midfield, and that. A lot was resting on McGeady's shoulders. And to be fair, he looked like the only Irish player with a bit of guile and invention. They were always going to be dangerous at set pieces, but.
Very quickly, Brian. So that result leaves Croatia at the top of the group ahead of Spain and Italy. So your thoughts on how the group looks to be shaping up?
Well, right off the bat, you can discount Ireland. It's going to be between the three teams. For Spain and Italy now, the next match is going to be very interesting.
Win, right?
It's a must-win for the next match. I think Spain are taking on Ireland, and Italy play Croatia. If Ireland are going to be the whipping boys, the games against Croatia, either for Spain or for Italy, that's going to be the crucial matches.
All right, well, hold on to your thoughts as it is time for our customary break here on the show. We'll be right back with more chat and banter as well as a look at tonight's Group D matches. which I think everyone, including my 2 England fans here, are looking forward to. So we'll see you real soon on Football Everyday. Welcome back to Football Everyday here in the second segment of today's episode. I tell you what, we've looked at results, but more games are taking place tonight. We're in Group D, an eagerly anticipated clash between England and France takes centre stage, of course. Roy Hodgson says they don't fear the French, but as an England fan and football journalist, would you agree with Roy, Zach?
Well, I think there's it's not so much fear as caution, really. England go to this tournament for the first time with no expectation. In fact, expectations at all-time low, right? So, for me, that's going to benefit England. At least they can go about their work without all the hype that normally surrounds them. In terms of on the pitch, I worry about England's midfield, Nelson. To me, the injuries have really depleted that department, and I hope that it's going to be good enough to combat the French, the Nazaris and all that.
I mean, Brian, you're an England fan as well, and apparently...
Coming to what he said about England, you've got Stuart Downing in midfield.
I know.
It's a no hope.
I know,
Brian, and apparently the English FA have gone so far as to book their return flight after their last group game against Ukraine.
Confidence for you now. It's England employing reverse psychology.
I mean, so what do you make of that, as well as Zach's assessment, Brian?
I think it's reverse psychology, but honestly, England are facing probably the weakest French team in years. You know, France hasn't actually set.
I mean, they're in the process of some sort of rebuilding as well. Right?
They barely got into the Euros, if you remember correctly. And I actually think they have a chance here. I mean, they are setting up in a formation that's which they used to, which is 4-5-1. Unfortunately, there's no Wayne Rooney up front. It's Danny Welbeck. I think the key is how Danny Welbeck plays. If he plays like we know he can for Man United, okay, England have a chance. Sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it was really encouraging to see the way he took his goal against Belgium a couple of weeks back. So more of that. I think Hodgson, he likes the big man, little man. So hopefully he's going to play the Carroll Welbeck partnership. It'll be interesting to see.
I mean, but would you agree with Zach in terms of the midfield? Where, I mean, we know Lampard is going to be a key miss, right? I mean, although it is known that Gerrard and Lampard have never played well together, but do you think his absence is going to be more? Will it work for England or not?
I don't think it'll work for England, honestly, because I think they're lacking that bit of experience. And for me, there's even a doubt as to how Steven Gerrard will perform. He hasn't really turned it on for the national team. I mean, Liverpool aside, Steven Gerrard for the national team doesn't really cut it for me.
And you know, Parker is not the guy that we saw at the start of the season. I think he's played too many games this year, and he looks tired, you know, which is always the case with England, right? And then the flanks, you got a lot of young, inexperienced people there. You got the likes of
Oxlade-Chamberlain,
your man Downing. I mean,
Daryl's man.
If there's ever an Achilles heel for the English team, that midfield is it.
All right, interesting. Then it's going to be. I tell you what, give me a score prediction, Zach. We haven't done this in a while.
2-1 England.
Right?
2-all.
2-all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sitting on the fence.
Downing the score, Scorcher, top con.
All right. Well, the second game.
Go to do that now.
The second game in Group D, he'll do that after he watches football every day. He watches football every day.
Hey, sorry, just to add on, you know, the flights that they booked back, it was in economy class as well. So if the players want to fly back first class, they have to win.
Get past the group stage.
All right. Okay. Well, the second Group D game sees co-host Ukraine kicking off their campaign with a match against Sweden. Coach Oleg Blokin has acknowledged that his side are the biggest underdogs to emerge from the group, but he has called his boys unpredictable as well, Brian. So can they get a good result against the Swedes, you think, who of course led by Serie A top scorer Zlatan Ibrahimovic?
Yeah, if you look at both teams, you know, Sweden has a much more familiar ring around it. I mean, you've got people like Mellberg, who we know of playing in the Premier League. You got Sepp Larsson there. Ibrahimovic, of course, a great striker. You look at Ukraine, but probably only Voronin, someone
one of my favorite all-time strikers.
Shevchenko, I think, is past it. But on the other hand, they have the entire nation of Ukraine
That's true.
behind them,
Yeah.
playing at home. Like Blokin says, I mean, you're playing at home, you're
Yeah.
supposedly favourites.
And he's hoping that the young boys come to the fore and turn in a surprise performance. I mean, Zach, you're reading our little street edition, of course, and
I
I
am.
think something there caught your eye about the weather
Yep.
getting hot in Ukraine
It's
and
very hot in
women
Ukraine
taking their
indeed,
kids off,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might this work to spur the Ukrainians on, perhaps?
Well, if I was in the Ukrainian team, that would work for me. But obviously, I'm not playing this evening. So, but seriously speaking, there's no pressure on the Ukrainians. Really, they're there to do themselves proud and give the fans a show. So I think that will give them an extra fillip to play well.
Yep.
You look at the Swedish team, and yes, they are
On
the more
paper,
favoured
they are
team. On
stronger,
paper,
right?
yeah. But as we know, things can be very different in football.
Right. I mean, quick one, Brian. So realistically, if either Sweden or Ukraine want to get out of that group, this is a must-win for either of them, right?
I would think so. I mean, a win for either team would immediately set them up for easy passage.
All they
to
need
the
would
group,
be a
yeah.
result against either England or France, right?
Yep.
But who would your pick be?
I'm going to go for Ukraine, and I think
Wow.
that Andriy Shevchenko is going to come off the bench and do something.
Nelson, we were talking about Cristiano Ronaldo and how he never turns it on in for his national
big game,
team,
yeah.
big game. Well, the same could be said for that man Zlatan, right?
Right.
Many tournaments now
Yeah.
we've seen expecting a lot
Yeah.
from that man, and
He doesn't turn up.
All right, so Shevchenko to top, Ibrahimovic then, all right? Thanks a lot, guys. I tell you what, before we bid you goodbye, check out a few scenes that were taken from last Saturday's viewing party, of course. Well, it was a Carlsberg viewing party, and we also had the launch of our Star Euro Street edition, of course. So that's coming to you,
Were
so
you
do
there,
enjoy
Nelson,
that.
mate?
Yes, I was, in fact.
Was
Brian
it
was
fun?
there as well.
Lots
Yep.
of fun
Yeah,
to be
lots
had,
of fun,
right?
and women as well.
Yeah,
that's why Brian's smiling.
Fantastic stuff.
All right, guys, if you want to drop us an email, do send it to us at football@thestar.com.my. So enjoy your football till we see you tomorrow, same time, same place. It's ciao from us from Football Every Day.